Problems on the beat. On my grave, I'm not going underneath. Call it luck, I'm just getting what I reap. Should've died, angels kept me on my feet. That's why these demons gotta kill me in my sleep. On my grave, I'm not going underneath. I never go another winter without heat. Gotta face it, just can't turn the other cheek. That's why these demons gotta kill me in my sleep. They know me very well, I ain't live no fairy tale. All the work that I put in, they know I ain't gonna tell. I keep it 100, cause all I know is real. I come from a line of hustlers, they only know the deal. They taught me how to move them quick and to play it slick. And to make sure that I watch out who I'm fucking with. Those motherfuckers got the game fucked up. They telling no motherfuckers to get a time cut. They slaves, they biggest fear is a lawnmower. I dare a motherfucker say my name, watch how I John Doe them. I blindfold them, duct tape to hold them. They bodies eroding, exposed in acid soaking. I'm popping pills and smoking, overdosing on hydrocodone. My story keeps unfolding, a prophecy growing. I'm on a mission, but I bury these snitches who scared of a conviction. Leaving the scene, but I'm leaving no witnesses. I just look at it like I'm saving somebody a sentence. My name won't be mentioned, so motherfucker, let's get it. As I time to miss you, tick-tock of my decision will leave your fucking signage stripping. Problem on my grave, I'm not going underneath. Call it luck, I'm just getting what I reap. Should've died, angels kept me on my feet. That's why these demons gotta kill me in my sleep. On my grave, I'm not going underneath. I never go another winter without heat. Gotta face it, just can't turn the other cheek. That's why these demons gotta kill me in my sleep.
My circle well rounded, but still some a square root. Aided by the streets, only objective is to chase loot. Off my own too, that's how I pivot. Street life full time, no intermittent. I ain't scared of a sentence, accusation like clue. That sycamore blue is terror, hoping who's your roots. If fuck the troops, I lead my army through the field. Ain't gonna send the pawns march through the blood spill. I sold like a pill, I alter your mind state. What y'all lack is heart, fall apart to the high stakes. Do this my way, my reputation savage. When I was down, bitch, I divided up the fractions and multiplied the addicts just to get the bag up. Seem like I'm always down, this shit don't add up. You big mad, huh? How I feel that I stay loyal. Acting like my brother when you mean more to me in the soil. I'd rather smoke a foil than shake your fucking hand. Regards you little bro, so I'ma turn my back like a man. You ain't trying to see these hands just cause you can't control your bitch. Oh, I take it to the grave, I ain't never snitch.
Hey.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up?
It is, man, I'll tell you what, it has been a crazy, crazy week since last week. I got so many different things going on. Oh my God.
But tell us about your new.
So I am now, I don't even know exactly the title of it, but I am now the event coordinator, director, music director. I don't know. We'll figure out some really cool name, but I am taking care of all the events at the Thompson House, and we are working hardcore to not just have a bar and grill with doing cover shows. We are pushing hardcore into marketing it as a music venue, and I'm really excited about this opportunity. It is killer. I've always wanted to have my hands in on my own music venue, and the team I have there it's that they have the same outlook. We got it's just going to be great. So I'm really excited to see what comes about this new endeavor over there. So
That's
it's
awesome.
awesome. What about you?
Oh yeah, just working. Yeah. But without further ado,
yeah, for sure. I think we got somebody
We
here.
have in
I don't know.
studio. I know.
I'm not
very
sure
rarely in
where
studio.
they're. When you gonna come in, man? Oh,
So, I would like to introduce a friend of mine, Ted Gregorek.
You
Usually
said it correctly.
I know.
I was almost shy because usually I'm not sure about that. You need to take care of that.
Oh yeah, normally I am, but no, I know his name. I know his name. Hi Ted, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, I would love to have you in anytime. Absolutely.
I'm excited. I've already heard part of the story, so I can't wait for him to share some of his tales.
That's
Well, I'll
awesome.
tell the ones that I can tell on the radio. on air.
You can save the other ones for me. I'll listen.
Yeah.
There
enjoy
you
it.
go. There you go.
Over a cocktail.
Do you have any shout outs, plugs, sponsors, your website?
Well, I just my company T Gregorek AV Consulting. We do basically anything that has to do with sound, lighting, video, staging, production. I design, sell, install, maintain, repair.
do it all.
Yeah, I was fixing a animatronic bear this morning.
Oh wow! Not many people can say that.
No, Pat Sullivan at Sullivan Hardware. He bought Allisonville Nursery last year, and he's doing a Halloween train for little kids up at the Allisonville in 116th Street.
Oh, that's cool.
And somebody broke one of the bears, and I had to fix the bear this morning.
Aw, so you do kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's super awesome.
Wyatt, it's fucking hot in here, man.
Is anybody else hot, or is it just Miranda?
Fat girl problems. We've had this conversation.
It's a little clammy.
It's
a little
clammy,
clammy.
but it's I think it's been worse.
Thanks.
Sorry, hot flash over there.
So
Tonight, the hot.
God,
flash in.
Yeah, I feel the love. So
sure.
born and raised in Indiana.
No, I was born in Toledo, Ohio, and we moved to South Bend when I was in the second grade, and I went to South Bend Riley,
Okay.
and then I went to IU Bloomington. I'm the first person to graduate from the IU School of Music with a degree in audio technology.
And see,
Nice.
What did that even mean back then? Like,
Well, part of the cool thing about that particular time period was they had just gotten a whole bunch of new equipment because the program had just been officiated, whatever that looks like.
right?
So one of our like senior project was building the new recording studios.
Oh wow.
So
super
we,
cool.
that we got new multi-track tape machines and new consoles and new processing gear, and we had to put it all together and make it work.
That's awesome.
And that was part of our,
That was the
yeah.
senior project.
That was a senior project.
When was that?
That would have been 1981.
Oh, okay.
That was the year I was born.
Yeah, I'm old. I've been around the block a couple of times.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
I'm a IU or alumni. I got my master's in media arts and science from IU.
Nice.
I love IU
So do you remember?
and all the debt they put me in. Love it.
Do you remember when you fell in love with music?
Yes, it was watching Josie and the Pussycats on TV on Saturday morning. I was in love with the drummer girl. Anyway, no, I started playing drums when I was in the 6th grade.
Nice.
I tried accordion and viola before that, and just
Didn't stick?
wasn't digging on it. My mom insists that I insisted to play the accordion. I don't remember any of that, but I was pretty young. And so we tried that. And then in the 4th grade, I tried the viola. And then 6th grade came around and they would let you play the drums. And I was like, that was it. And I was on and running. And then when I was 14, I bought a PA system. And when and then I was in marching band and a drum corps at the same time.
Oh wow.
Our drum corps was national champions one year. And then I got to college, and I started out as a music education major. And then I found this audio program, and I was like, oh, I am all about that. And so I got into that, and that's been, that was a very long time ago.
That was a very long time ago. So I know that you've obviously always had a passion for music, but do you remember like when it was that you transitioned and said, hey, I really want to do this for money?
Well, I was in college, and I was like, nose deep in this audio program. And I realized one day that I was a much better audio engineer than I was a drummer.
Oh.
I was an okay drummer. I was a really good audio engineer. And I'd wake myself up at night thinking about different ways to plug things together. And I'd have to, I kept a notebook by my bed so I could write it down so I didn't forget. And I just went whole hog into doing that. And so I thought about, my big goal at the time was to go work in some big recording studio. I'd also taken all the electronic music the IU School of Music had to offer.
Okay.
So we had a synthesizer, took 100 patch cords to make it do anything. It was like 4 feet wide and 3 feet tall.
Gosh.
Oh, wow.
And it just, and it took 100 patch cords to do anything. Well, then right when I graduated, Yamaha came out with the DX7 and threw all that stuff into antiquity. But
Right.
I thought I was going to go be a big studio engineer. Well, I wound up going to work for a small sound company around here, and I bounced around through most of the small sound companies around here.
Okay.
And then I got hooked up with a band out of Nashville, a heavy metal band out of Nashville, believe it or not. And I wound up getting stuck in Florida. And I got a call to do stagehand for the 1988 Van Halen's Monsters of Rock.
Nice.
That is awesome.
So I went out there for, they told me I was just going to do the load in and the load out. Well, I got stuck there for 11 days. I had one change of clothes. I was crashing at a friend's house, and I'd like go home, take the dirty clothes I had on, put them in the washing machine, put the clean clothes on, and sleep in them.
Right.
And get up and go to work in those in the morning and just like repeat process.
Right.
For 11 days. And then I got home, and we were doing the loadout finally, and it was 8 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
I mean, this show was the biggest show that had ever gone out ever up until like U2 did Zooropa.
Okay.
Wow.
So this was the biggest. There was a couple hundred people and like 58 trucks on the road that summer
Oh, wow.
on just this one tour. And so I busted my butt in front of the right guy on the loadout, and learning point number one, don't go anywhere without your resume,
Oh, yeah.
a paper copy.
Yeah.
And so I looked at this guy and I said, hey, can I give you a resume? And he goes, oh, sure, I'm not done hiring for this thing yet. He talked like that. He really did.
Yeah.
And I ran out to the van, my uncle's van I borrowed, and I got my resume, and I ran and I found him and handed it to him, and he wadded it up and stuck it in his pocket. Well, we had 3 more days of loadout to tear the stage down.
Right.
So I get back to Orlando. This was in Tampa. And I get back to Orlando to my aunt's house, and she says, somebody called for you. I'm like, who was it? She goes, I don't know. What did he want? I don't know. He's going to call back at 10:30 tomorrow. I'm like, okay. Well, my aunt, and if I lived south of the Ohio River, I would just preface this with bless her heart. But she was, a hillbilly from North Carolina living in Florida. And this guy that called was like Scottish. And she didn't understand a word he said.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so anyway, I 10:15, I go sit by the phone
Yes.
and guard the phone because there was teenagers in the house, and I was afraid they were going to
Be on it,
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, so I sit there and guard the phone, and about 10:45, the phone rings. I answer it, and it's this Scottish guy on the other line, and he said, "Hey, there's plane tickets at the Orlando airport. Go get on a plane. Go to Philadelphia. You're a monster of rock."
That is awesome.
So I got hired by the 4th largest sound company on the planet to go do that. That Tampa show was the first show of the
Right.
tour.
Wow.
So I went out and I call these moments of clarity.
Okay.
And my first moment of clarity when I got out there was to shut up and pay attention.
Okay.
And I was like, just don't talk.
Right.
Just listen. And I got out there, and then and there was another kid that he hired from the same show,
Really.
and he didn't learn that lesson. He ran his mouth all the time.
Oh.
So subsequently, after that tour, he went out and did finished Van Halen's OU812 tour,
Okay.
and I went out on Pat Benatar. Well, he didn't make it through OU812 till he got sent home.
Oh wow, talking too much.
Yeah, and I made it all the way through for 9 years.
That is awesome.
So-
That's
That
some
is
hard
super
ass
awesome.
work.
Yeah, it's and it's everybody. I've had people have their kids call me and want to go, want a summer job, and I'm like, what do you think I do? And they go, hang around with rock stars. I'm like, no. And I explained to them about what 4-aught is. It's the cable we use to power everything up,
Okay.
and 250 feet of it weighs 1,000 pounds
Jesus.
and fills a big road case.
Oh my
So we have to run that out. That's the first thing we do every morning is run our feeder so we can,
Is that
you know,
basically
can't,
just
you know,
a
when
big
you've got
snake?
when you've got 100,000 watts of PA, you have to get power to it,
Right.
Right.
and it's we were usually tying into at least a 400 amp service.
Wow.
That's insane. Wow.
Yeah. So, and we so we were, and these kids were like, well, that sounds like work. I'm like, well, yeah,
Yeah, it is work.
I don't want to do that.
That's
I want to hang
funny.
around with rock stars. Yeah.
Yeah, they were going to hang out with the rock stars. So you've worked for some local places who are actually pretty big. Talk about Emmis and working
Emmis
there.
was my foray in 12 years ago into radio.
And what was that transition like for you?
Well, I started out doing remote broadcasts doing the Colts,
Okay,
and let's just say Bob Lamy and I didn't see eye to eye.
gotcha.
And I did about 2/3 of the season and was like, yeah, I've had enough of that. So, and then Jake, my boss at the time, said, hey, I want you to just do part-time stuff around here. I'm like, so I'd go out and do broadcasts and whatever and fix stuff and run wire and do, all the stuff that I do.
But you get to do all of it.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of jobs. The weirdest one was being a set dresser for Karl Lagerfeld.
A set dresser.
Yeah.
And what is that?
Well, okay. Do you remember Karl Lagerfeld Photo? It was a men's cologne.
Maybe.
You aren't old enough. Anyway, it was well, when they rolled it out, they were going to big hotel ballrooms and inviting all the department store people to come, and they wanted this all decorated like a photo studio. So they had cameras with tripods and lights and strings with photos hanging on them and little cans of film and all over the tables. And well, a buddy of mine that I built sets with at Beef and Boards,
Okay.
he called me and says, hey, they need stagehands for this thing. You want to go do it? And I said, sure. So I went and did it. And we did the load in and got it all set up. And these two guys that were doing this, they were creative guys, but they weren't work guys.
Okay.
And their outs were taking 8-10 hours. And when I saw what a 12 monkeys in a football this was going to turn into, I just, I grabbed a box and I grabbed one of the other stagehands. I says, you go put all the film canisters in here, and you go get all the pictures and put them in this box, and you go get all the tripods and cameras and put them here. And I got them out in like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And these two guys look at me and go, can you do any more of these? So I'm like, sure. So I wound up going across the country decorating a ballroom for Karl Lagerfeld.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
That's the weirdest job I've ever had.
Okay, so with all of the jobs that you have had, can you pinpoint one favorite, or maybe who were you most starstruck by?
Okay. Well, I learned very early on not to be starstruck.
Okay.
Because if you don't fangirl out on people,
Right.
they will like you a whole lot more.
Yeah.
So, like, Pat McAfee was on the radio with us all the time.
Yeah.
So I'd see Pat McAfee. He was right down on the corner here signing autographs in front of the farmers market.
Okay.
And we're walking right down here, and we're going to lunch, and he's standing out there, and he looks over and sees me, and he goes, "Hey man, how's it going?" And I went, "Hey Pat," and there's 100 people standing in line looking at me like, "Who the hell is he?"
That is awesome.
You know. And then we're doing an event in the lobby of the Emmis building for the combine.
Okay.
All the
NFL. Yeah.
all the media people were there, and Pat had his little podcast at the time, so he was a media person. He was still playing at the time,
Okay.
and so he came in, and all these people, there's 80 people in the room that want to talk to him, and he comes over to me.
Right.
"Hey man, how's it going?" "Hey Pat, how's the wife?" You know, the girlfriend. That
Yeah.
anyway, and but I always say Billy Joel, Pat Benatar, Natalie Merchant, and the two girls from Bombshell, Christy Osmondson and Kelly Shepard.
Okay.
I would cross broken glass and hot coals for on my hands and knees if they called.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I
Billy
like that.
Squire and Bobby Brown, I wouldn't cross the street to piss on them if they're on fire.
There we go. All right.
So
That's what's up. So,
What conditions to be in if you need pissed on? On the next Monday Love.
what is that certain look? So, it says on your Facebook page that you're a freelance musician.
yeah, I do that for fun. My wife and I have a band called The Rents. Like, hide the bong, the rents are coming.
That's funny.
That's what we called our parents when I was in college.
Yeah.
Was The Rents. So that we were all at the time we formed the band, everybody in the band had kids.
Okay.
So we have been through a bunch of musicians. I don't think that's true anymore,
Right.
but that's how we got the name. And we just do classic rock and start in about 67 and work our way up into the 80s. And
Gotcha.
then we do Pretenders tribute show.
Really?
My wife Lori does Chrissy really, really well, and
That's
we've done a 22 song tribute
Wow.
show, and we've had PK Lavengood play with us on that a few times when he's around, and but that we sold out the it's called the Lo-Fi now. It used to be called the Do 317 Lounge,
Yes.
and we sold that out the first time we did the Pretenders show.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
And my son's band warmed up for us, and they were like 14, 15, and 16.
That's awesome.
So they started
That's
playing
awesome.
bars when they were teenagers.
That's what's up. Hi, guys.
So, yeah, it's just I do it for fun. I became the drummer I hate as a sound engineer.
Oh, no.
I have an 11-piece drum kit with 14 cymbals.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. So you're wrapped in cymbals.
Yeah. And they're 1973 Slingerlands. They're like this. It's the same drum. It was like my first real drum set.
Yeah.
I just found more drums that matched and just kept adding to it. And I've got,
Oh, wow.
I think I have 14 total matching pieces now. I just don't play them all at once.
That is crazy, Ted.
Yeah. I don't usually take that many drums. I usually just take 6 when I go play because most of the places we play, that's all that fits.
Smaller stages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I play something big outside, I'll take the whole thing. I don't care.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And the sound guys can hate me.
What would be your favorite venue to play around Indy?
I'll tell you, we got to play the Vogue in 2019, and that was really cool because it is such an iconic room around here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Great sound.
and we have a monitor engineer, and the only thing I didn't like about that one is it was like a big multi-band thing, and I had to play the house kit.
Oh yeah.
And I hate playing other
My drummer
people's
hates
drums.
that.
Yeah, it's just no
So,
fun.
man, I can set it up really quick.
So that was probably, but I like playing outside anywhere because
Yeah.
it's you remove acoustics from the equation
right.
and it sounds good,
Yeah.
you know. So we just like to play. I don't care if we're playing we played last couple of years in August. We play out in Freeport Settlers Day
Oh, the Settlers Day.
at
Yeah.
Claudia's deal out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
Been there.
played. Yeah, we played that the last 2 years.
That's awesome.
And we used to play the cornstalk out there at the base of the radio tower in Shelbyville.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did that a couple of times, and we just go,
Have fun.
just like to go play.
Yeah.
And then we always play Radiothon for WIBC.
Gotcha.
Uh,
okay.
You know, we play 3 songs across an hour. They like beg for money, play a song, beg for money, play a song, beg for money, play a song.
Right. Yeah.
Next,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's really cool that you do that.
And that last year we raised over $1 million for the Salvation Army.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
That's huge. That is so cool.
That's really crazy. How many acts was all there?
I think we did 8
Okay.
across the day.
That's really good,
And-
though.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just, but I mean, just only play like 3 songs over the hour, and
Yeah.
but it's like, and they really want you to do some Christmas songs, but like one year we did like the Twisted Sister version of "Come All Ye Faithful,"
Oh, that's funny.
and we do the Joan Jett version of "Drummer Boy," and
That's awesome.
and we've got a version of the Grinch that it's kind of like the Led Zeppelin version of the Grinch that stole Christmas.
That would be awesome to watch.
So, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Last
Yeah.
year I fell off the stage.
Oh no.
My drums were at the back of the stage, and I scooted my
you're
my
thrown
throne,
back.
and the leg went off and I just went head over heels backwards fell into a 14-foot Christmas tree.
Oh. Well, it probably
For the stage was only like a foot tall, so it's not like it's not like I hurt
I'm sitting
myself.
there. I'm sitting there like, holy cow.
Yeah, no, it's.
Adding sound effects.
But
and
yeah,
Yeah.
I landed in the Christmas tree.
small
So
kids are crying.
the only thing bruised was my ego. You know.
Gotcha.
At least you landed on a tree. I mean, it could have been worse. Seriously.
Well, and they got 5 minutes out of it on the radio. That was enough. That was 5 minutes of material just teasing me about falling into the Christmas
That's
tree.
funny.
So
So with the changing of technologies and things from the beginning of when you started working with audio and compared to now, how has that worked? out
well,
for
I
you?
went kicking and screaming into digital consoles. I mean, I'm an analog guy. I'm used to a
Yeah.
console that's 8 feet long with 1,000 knobs on it.
right.
And going into
More tangible.
and going into digital consoles was I did monitors for Ashton Shepherd with no rehearsals on a console I'd never seen before. And
Wow.
I looked at the house tech, the kid that was there with that system. I said, "You're going to have to help me because I don't know what I'm doing here." And that particular console, that big Yamaha, the one thing I hate about it is that it's got a lot of, you can configure it to your own liking.
Right.
And every time I saw it, it was configured differently because I never carried one.
Yeah.
So the house tech configured it to his liking. So it was
Gotcha.
hard. I never really got around
yeah.
on that console, but I mean, I own one now.
What do you work with now?
I've got a Behringer X32. You can't
Okay. Those are good.
watt per dollar. Bang
Yeah.
for your buck. That you can't get anything else that's. The Midas sounds better. Well, yeah, maybe it sounds a little better, but it's $1,000 more, and
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Is
You
that
don't have
$1,000
$1,000 worth of functionality more,
Right.
And so, but I'm an Allen and Heath dealer, so I do a lot of the SQ and the QU series Allen and Heath consoles,
Okay.
and which I like really well. And but I've mixed on virtually everything that's out there. Well, the new series of Yamaha consoles I haven't seen yet.
Okay.
I hate Yamaha consoles from day one, and I don't see any reason to go try and like something I know I won't like.
Right.
I got you.
Right.
They had to hire Rupert Neve to make them sound like anything. So it's like,
have you worked at all with the Persona Studio Lives and things like that?
Yeah, Tufty's got one over at Radio, and that's the cheapest console on the planet.
Okay.
Really? It's cheaper than the Behringer, but they quadruple dutied all the knobs.
Yeah.
So, and I can't remember what I was trying to do, but I was trying to meter something and change something else, and it wouldn't do it. And I'm like, I just frustrated me. But Tufty's got his hooked up to the computer, so you can see all the controls on the computer and you can control things from there. So that makes it more tolerable for me.
Yeah.
But
I could see that.
But that one, it's just kind of, that's still kind of a toy for me.
Gotcha.
And I don't care for it all that well.
Okay.
So how did you become an Allen and Heath dealer?
Oh, I'm a dealer for my company. I design and I sell everything. I do sell everything that I install. Because I've got a couple distributors that if I can't get it through a direct line, these distributors have 30 or 100 lines of stuff. I can get it through them. It's how I make money.
Right.
I call it the non-boutique stuff. Mm-hmm. Like there's always something that is the new hottest thing and it's really expensive. And I'm like, the Widow Henderson and Pew 3 can't tell the difference.
Right.
So I've settled on stuff because, especially in my church and school clients, spending their money is a big deal to me.
Right.
That's, because that's the Widow Henderson puts her check in the plate every month or every week, and you're spending her money. It's not like Magic Play-Doh money, and so I got lines of equipment that are good, solid, good sounding, reputable equipment. That's not that boutique brand.
Gotcha.
They're you can spend, $20,000 on an amplifier,
Right.
but nobody's going to tell the difference between that and a $1,500 amplifier.
Right.
I mean, if you get a bunch of, audio files together, they'll sit there and pretend they can tell the difference. But
Right.
when you're in a PA in a church, 99% of the people that are listening to it can't tell the difference.
So do you go into venues and help design their layout?
Their whole thing, yeah.
Yes.
Well, it depends.
We need to talk.
when the Sycamore School did their big remodel, and they actually hired me as a consultant on the theater design because the architect said, I don't know anything about building a theater. And I was like, okay. So I'd go to the design meetings and they'd, say, well, what about this? And I go, well, I need conduit from here to here and power from here, here, and here. And it's all got to be on an isolated ground and blah, 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 blah,
Right.
And so, but I'll go in and then I'll do acoustics. And I did their band room somebody had come in and put foam on all the walls, and they said, but they had this weird echo thing, and they said, well, we put this foam up and it's still there. And I go, that's because the problem is the ceiling. and so
It is.
that's not the problem. The problem's up there. And they go, really? I'm like, yep. So I made these big panels that basically were acoustically isolated that ceiling from the floor.
That's
and
awesome.
all went away. I'm like,
That's awesome.
yeah. So it's just,
So your brain works completely differently than most people.
yes,
Have you ever had an IQ test?
I have.
How are you?
High. There's a part of it where they give you these little colored blocks and you have to make patterns.
Okay.
And the guy that tested me said he's never seen anybody do it that fast.
Wow. You're a genius.
No, I just do a few things really well. Okay.
You're shortchanging yourself.
Learning point number 2.
Okay.
You need to know what you know,
Yes.
and you need to know what you don't know.
Yes.
That's a good point.
And be
though.
honest about it.
I mean,
And,
it
it's like,
really is.
do I know this cable works?
Right.
Do I know this microphone works? Do I know this channel of the snake works?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when you're troubleshooting, you start at one end and work your way through to the other end. If you start in the middle, you don't know what you're
Right.
doing. You don't know what you
Yeah.
know, and you don't know what you don't know.
That's right.
So,
Oh yeah. So when looking at your pictures and your logo, because I was the one that told Joe go with the brain guy. That's how.
yeah, by Ted's brain. Yeah, that
Yes.
was. People either love that or hate it. My wife hates it because she doesn't think people know that that's a slide rule in my hands, and so, and maybe people don't because because nobody's used a slide rule for 50 years.
You know, I know what it was, but when I'm looking at it, I thought there was almost a switch, and
yeah.
I thought you're kind of looking at.
Well,
something.
when you look at that you guys pulled it, what you're looking at, we're looking at a picture of it
Yeah.
on the TV monitor, and it's much bigger than what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a business card size. So when you look at it on the business card, it makes a little more sense. But people either love that or hate it, one or the other. But it's like there's a picture of the top of my head's removed and my brain's sticking out, and I'm studying a slide rule, and it with the internet, I'm constantly battling cost on gear.
Yeah.
I mean, I am basically tied to whatever Sweetwater sells something for.
Yeah.
I have to beat them by $10 just so I can say I beat them,
Right.
And then, so what you're buying is you're buying my brain. You're buying my knowledge. You're buying my experience. You're buying, my wisdom of having been in the business since I, playing with speakers and amplifiers and microphones since I was 14. So
Right. Yeah. That's what a lot of people don't take into consideration. They'll ask you, "Oh, well, how much do you charge?" And they're like, "Oh my God, well, you're like you said earlier, you can buy all the equipment."
plumbers charge $125.
I know.
I mean, it's like that's more than I charge hourly.
Yeah.
So
But you got to really consider that. I mean, all the experience and education and just coming in I'm going to talk to you afterwards for the audio for my venue. I'm serious, and that you want professional. I mean, so yeah, you can get somebody that don't really know shit. But let me rewind. I started rambling about that. So you trying to outprice somebody like Sweetwater? That's got to be tough.
it is.
Yeah, I mean, because they
And
got so much.
When they sell stuff for below my dealer cost, I call my manufacturers and complain about it.
Yeah.
And they go,
because that's not fair to you guys.
"Well, there's nothing we can do about it."
Because they bought so much bulk.
Well, I'll get an email that says, "Buy 10 of these and get an extra 10% off."
Right.
Well, they'll buy 1,000 of them or 10,000 of them, and that extra 10% off they got's their margin now.
right.
So then they blow them out the door at dealer cost.
Right.
So it's just, but that's the world we live in, the global economy we live in, and I have to deal with it. And then, but when your music minister steals your console and disappears,
That's a problem.
and you call me on a Thursday,
Yeah.
I bring you a console and put the console down so you can at least have service on Sunday.
Right.
Sweetwater doesn't do that.
Yeah.
right.
They're like, "Sure, we'll sell you another one."
Yeah. It'd get to you in 3 to 5 business days.
Yeah, right, exactly. So that's, so I try, service and oh my God, the handhold, especially with churches.
Yeah.
I had a church over in Irvington that "Oh, we've got a problem." I go over there. I go, "Remember this button I told you not to push?"
The pushed
"Yeah,
it.
don't push that." And I must have gone over there 20 times. And the other thing was, so if I've got a long, skinny room, I'll put speakers in the front and I'll put speakers halfway back and delay them to the front.
Okay.
So they're time aligned.
Right.
So it all sounds like it's coming out together.
Okay.
Right.
And I said, "People will tell you these aren't working
Gotcha.
because it sounds like it's coming from up front."
Right. And it's all.
And I'd go over and I'd put some music on and I'd turn the front speakers off
Yeah.
and they'd go, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay." And I did that 10 times.
That's funny.
because it's like they didn't believe me or something the first 6.
Right.
But the hand holding part of it is just something I got to do.
Yeah.
If I put a new sound system in a church, I'll go to their church service the first time, and probably I'll show up a couple more times. I may not stay for the whole time, but I'll, stand over the guy's shoulder and go, "You all right?"
Right.
And he goes, "Hey, what about that?" And he'll ask me a question, I'll answer it. And I do training sessions, when I put a new system in. I
Gotcha.
had a big church in Chicago that they rejected my bid because my sister-in-law goes to that church.
Really?
Yeah. And my bid was 30 grand less than the one they picked.
That's insane.
And they put this system in and
Don't sound right.
it sounded awful. And then they told them they needed $35,000 worth of acoustic treatment.
You got to take it.
And I said to my sister-in-law, I said, "Look, pay me a day's wages to come up there."
Hey, sir.
Hey, guys.
Sir.
Hey.
Sir, at the back
Sir.
of the car. At the back of the car.
Hey,
in the yellow
dude,
jacket.
right there at the car.
Hey, mister. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
just go out the back.
Was he going to give you a ticket?
Tell him it's my fault.
Oh, geez.
Okay.
It's probably locked.
Anyway.
Go ahead, Joe.
So anyway.
Sorry about that.
So I go up there and I bring my real-time analyzer and I get in. They've got like the processor for the sound systems. Like you got to hook a computer up to it to do anything.
Yeah.
So I hook my computer up and I'm like, "Gee, nobody EQ'd this room." And so I EQ'd the room and I got up and re-aimed all the speakers and, gee, you don't need $45,000 worth of acoustic treatment now.
How do you go about, like, when you go into I come in a room and I've been around the scene and different recording rooms and things, and you can hear things at times, but how do you get that ear? What practice outside? What helps you? Is there tools that can help you? Like you come into a room and go, okay, we need this, and this, and we need this.
Well,
or is it all
there's
just
some stuff that you can, it's just by experience that, like, I knew that curved ceiling in in the school band room was just
the
I was
Sycamore
like,
room?
yeah, I was like, because it was making this noise like meow, 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 and I was
the
like,
type of material.
well, it's called the Echelon effect,
Okay,
and it was the shape of the ceiling. It was curved.
I got you.
So basically, you know how on the sidelines of the football game they got those little parabolic plastic dish microphones.
Where you could hear far away.
Well, those work backwards. So if you put sound in them, they focus the sound out.
okay.
If you'd put a speaker pointing into one of those parabolic dishes,
Yeah.
it would become a very directional speaker.
Wow, I never thought of it like that.
So that's what. So yeah, so it's like I don't know. I know what I'm looking at and how sound reacts in a room.
So okay, that's amazing. Well, I know I worked with. There's a studio up north. I think they've moved, but he had the sound stage that they did a lot of Peyton Manning's Best Buy commercials on, and he had a dome like sound room. It was real big. It cost like $1,200 to paint it for different colors for different events. And that sound, he had that, like you could say here and shoot sound in different ways.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's it's like the tiled room at the old RCA studios. There was a tile room in the basement, and they had speakers in there, and they had microphones in there, and they would just go in there and move the speakers around, move the mics around, and that was the reverb for all of the. That was like the Harry Belafonte and Johnny Mathis reverb.
Okay. Yeah.
That really lush, thick reverb was.
That makes sense.
That's that. There was a tiled room in the basement that they ran lines
What
down
kind
there.
of tile do they use? Is it just like
it was just
ceramic,
that.
or?
Yeah, just like those 1 foot square bathroom tiles.
Wow.
The walls, the floor, the whole thing was tiled.
Okay. So it's almost like a hospital room kind of situation.
Yeah, and
That's awesome.
and then that was their reverb chamber.
Didn't know.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
And then sometimes they'd go down there with mic stand and a blanket and move that around to like
Yeah.
take up some, whatever. It's just it's all. Then you're into just like playing around with it and see what does what, But
That's great.
Stacy, the answer is no. I didn't get a ticket.
okay, good.
Did we?
Yeah.
That's one of the
They didn't
reasons
fix
I don't
it?
like parking down.
No.
I had
We
my-
got here late. And,
I had my wife drop me off because I don't want to try and park down. I was afraid I was going to have to park 2 blocks away and walk in the rain.
Yeah, because it just started raining when
Yeah.
I got here at like 7.
Thanks, bud.
And my van doesn't fit in any of the parking garages.
Oh, is it too tall?
It's got ladders and stuff on top of it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And even my Jeep won't go in. It sits 3 feet off the ground.
You got it lifted.
Yeah.
Do you ever take it out and play in the mud?
Yes.
Okay, some people get them lifted just to have them lifted.
That's called a mall crawler. And we make fun of those people.
That's funny. That is funny. So what holds near during the near future? Do you already have any plans that you're going to be working here or there? Or?
Well, I'm doing the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction for Sirius XM Radio at the end of the month.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that's awesome.
Yeah, we're back and there's a media room that we work in and that we will set up a couple little stations, and the VJs or the DJs will grab, as the people come off stage performing, heading into this media room, they'll grab them and we'll put them on air.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now, but you project it through.
And that goes through the internet back to Sirius XM's mothership in New York or Washington.
Okay.
Wow.
Gotcha.
So we've got these codecs that hook up to the internet, and we'll take, now for something like that, we'll take 3 or 4 just to have backups and backups. And so,
Right.
because when you're, and we have uninterrupted power supplies on everything, so we cannot go down.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
really cool, though.
That way it's on the fly. You're prepared.
Yeah.
How much of a delay is it from?
Not hardly any at all. I mean, you can have a conversation with somebody and pretty normally.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing.
It's like, well, in 2020, Sirius XM saved our bacon. We were producing 150 hours of Sirius XM programming from here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, Jake at Midwest Broadcasting set up 3 studios, and he's still doing some stuff over there. But
Wow.
but we were doing 50 hours a week in 3 studios of programming.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, their studios in New York and Washington were closed because they don't
COVID.
own the building,
Right.
and the building owners closed the building.
Gotcha.
So
yeah.
they sent all their air talent codecs, and then so they were like, Mark Goodman was in his bedroom, and Alan Light was in the kitchen,
Right.
and then we had Zoom calls that the producers were on. We had a Zoom call for air, and then we had a Zoom call that was a production party line that we. So if the producer wanted to talk to us off air, he could talk to us on that Zoom call.
Gotcha. Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, he was able to get you right then and
Yeah,
there.
and then we'd mix the show, and whatever guest would either call in on the phone or Zoom call, and we'd mix it and send it back to New York.
Gotcha.
So that's how I got through 2020 reasonably unscathed. Because I had a week of, oh crap, what am I going to do? Everything canceled for the year.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we were supposed to
Well,
go
she
do.
was blessed with that. I mean,
Yeah,
seriously.
we really were, because it was like most people I know just now started going back to work.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So
So it's funny because I work for Sweetwater's biggest competitor. So we all got sent home to work. So that saved my butt. They literally cut our training short to send us all home to work right when COVID hit back in March
Yeah.
of last year. So yeah. So I was able to weather the storm that way. But now I have Sweetwater recruiters trying to poach me.
you don't want to move to Fort Wayne.
No, I don't.
No.
They want me to be
They
an
they have
engineer.
they have a very impressive facility though.
Oh yeah, I love going up
yeah,
there.
it's like
I haven't been up there yet. Is it really?
Oh, yeah, it's
Oh,
really neat.
God.
We went up there for Gear Fest
Okay.
oh man, I
because
wanna
all of my vendors show up there. All of my manufacturers show up there. So I went up there for that, and like I got to hear Bob Clearmountain talk about producing records.
Oh, that is awesome.
And I like I told you, our band, we do a Pretenders tribute show. Well, if you go listen to those Pretenders records, the only drums that's on the records is the snare drum.
Okay.
The kick drum, the hi-hat, the ride cymbal, it's like they're just nearly non-existent.
Right.
But there's a snare drum going whack, whack, whack through the whole thing. And I know Bob Clearmountain, I forget which of those albums, I said, man, what is with the, it's like, it's all snare drum. There's nothing else. And I said, you're known for your great, drum sounds. And he goes, man, it was the 80s. Did you hear my Simply Red record? It was all snare drum, so I was like,
Right.
that's just what we did. It was all snare drum.
wow.
And I was like, okay,
That's
I guess.
crazy. Yeah, that's awesome.
See, I
though.
would have thought maybe it was, more of a technical because,
Nope.
they only got a
was
4-channel mixer or something.
No. So, but yeah, that was, but you go, when you go to events up there like that, you can, they bring in like,
the big names.
big
Yeah.
names to, for seminars and stuff. And from that respect, it's really cool.
Is it like a weekend thing or?
Usually.
They have several different big events throughout the year. Yeah,
Hmm.
they're pretty. Oh, you'll you walk into your little guitar building down there and you go to Sweetwater. You'll be like, oh, okay, I get it.
But like my wife bought me a new drum throne,
Okay.
and the drum throne didn't quite go up high enough because I sit really high when I play
Okay.
because I'm tall, and the keyboard throne goes up like 5 inches higher.
Oh,
So I drove up there and traded it in for the keyboard throne
nice. So
because
that
they're
works
basically
better
the same thing. One just goes a little taller.
Right.
So
Works
that's
better for you.
yeah. So, but yeah, and they're nice up there. But
Yeah.
it's like I said, it's when I was doing the Sycamore School, one of the board members comes to a meeting and throws me a piece of paper for a $1,600 amp that was like $4 over what I had to pay for it. He found on the internet.
Oh my God.
So I quickly went home and had that website shut down. But I'm like,
Right.
so that's when you're selling stuff retail, you're fighting with the internet. That's just
Oh, absolutely.
that's all you're fighting with the internet. So you got to make yourself into something besides just price and getting what you want because they're shipping it for free.
right.
I mean, I have
Yes.
to eat a lot. I have to eat a lot of shipping just because they're like, well,
Such and such
I
has
don't want
free
to pay
shipping.
for shipping,
Yeah.
and shipping's gotten stupid expensive.
It
Yeah.
has. It has. They've slowed down just to charge us more.
You know, one of my the company that I buy my cases from is up in northern Indiana, and they wanted to charge me more for the case to ship it to me than what
Than what it
than what the case cost. And I called them. I said, I can drive up there and back for $60.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And so I did.
Yeah.
I drove up there and picked it up as like,
And still saved money.
and was almost $300 a head.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, so, it just,
Yeah, it is. It really is.
if you're, when you're in business for yourself, you got to do what you got to do to get
Yes.
the job done,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Not everyone has that same tact. So, absolutely.
Hey guys, make sure you get over and rate, review, subscribe, hit the like, share. We're all wanting to talk to you guys, so comment on here and yeah.
And if you have any sound questions,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys have any sound questions.
Oh no,
ask.
Stacy had one that said, "Where do they play?"
Oh, they
And I
don't.
don't-
They
I
don't
don't-
go to Pennsylvania.
is that from Pennsylvania?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stacy. She's
Yeah.
a hardcore
She's our
Monday
regular,
Love.
yes.
She's on all of our shows.
Okay.
And Spencer, I'm not going to Sweetwater. They wouldn't pay me enough. So,
I should drive there. After talking about it, it's like,
It's like
man,
2 hours.
Yeah, it's a good time. Go up, have lunch.
Yeah. The
Droll
food's there
on all-
actually pretty good.
I don't know if I ate there last time.
Yeah, I've eaten there a couple of times.
We're gonna have to make a road trip, aren't we?
I'm down.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm really broke right now, so that probably is bad for me because I'd be like, ooh, maybe I can finance it.
Oh yeah, they'll do that for you. Sure they will.
Get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Sorry, Miranda, you're walking back. The back seat's full.
No, matter of fact, Miranda, just push. We're gonna save gas money because I spent too much. You push, I'll go ahead and steer it.
That's hilarious. Hi, guys. Hi, ladies. So, yeah. So at the end of the month, you have the big event. And then anything else planned for the
Well,
next
like I
few?
said, the band's playing Radiothon again at
Yeah.
Sullivan Hardware, and that's the second Saturday in December.
Okay.
And that's always a good time. And if you want to see some good music, come. And plus, he's got a cafe there. He sells beer at the hardware store. So,
Nice.
Yeah. So you can go have a beer and watch some bands and buy your Christmas decorations all at the same time.
There you go.
That
And I'm going to do a Louisville football game for Westwood One. Just working.
Working.
Well, and then we got to get Sullivan's Christmas stuff going at the 71st Street store.
Oh.
Because he's doing the Halloween stuff up at the North store. So then, in probably a couple weeks, we're going to be in full mode Christmas. Because
Yeah.
they start right after Thanksgiving.
Well, they have a lot of stuff, don't
Yeah,
they?
so we've got to get a lot done in the next couple of weeks.
Right. Yeah.
So that's, churches, schools, just whatever I got to, whoever calls.
Right. And the best advertising is word of mouth, but do you do any other advertising?
Well, I have my Facebook, the Ted Gregorek AV Consulting Facebook page. And if anybody, and I will give you my phone number because that's my business line, 317-418-4108. 317-418-4108. 317-418-4108. You have to say it 3 times.
Three times, and then it sticks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mostly do commercial work. I don't do much residential work because I just don't like it. I have done some depending on what it is.
Right.
If it's new construction, I'm more likely to do it than not.
Gotcha. Yeah.
fishing through walls and all that.
Yeah, it's just, and I mean, I own a 130-year-old house that I've fished wire through, so I know how to do it, but I just don't like to.
Right.
And you
hard
got some
work.
housewife chasing you around. You scratch the baseboards, and she
You-
doesn't like the speakers and the TV that the husband put in the living room, and
Yeah.
For a short time, almost 2 years, I was a AT&T Uverse tech. So I was installing
sorry.
Uverse.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's rough. That's
Well,
hard work, too.
I hung.
It was.
I hung the first 108-inch plasma screen
Really?
in Indiana in a very wealthy man's house.
Oh, wow.
And I had to bring in big sheets of cardboard so we didn't scratch the slate, the raw slate floor.
Oh, wow.
And we had to, and the wife was hating this TV, just hating it. I'm like, hey, but that's when that thing cost, I think it was $40,000 for that TV.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ. Very wealthy.
Yeah.
Very
Dang it.
wealthy.
Well, he owned a media company.
I'm in the wrong business.
Gotcha.
$40,000 TV. Dang it.
Dang. What's the time, Joe?
We are right there. I was actually getting ready to say something. We are right at the end of our time.
Well, it's been lovely.
It was
I'm
fun,
so glad
and
you
it's so
came
much
in.
information, and I can't wait to pick your brain here in a minute. Definitely, I'd like to see what it takes.
he charges for that?
Yeah. But for what we're
Well, I'm
but
kind of
we're-
like the drug dealer. I give you a little for free.
A
and then,
little
you
for
know,
free and keep you coming back for more.
no, but for where we're aiming, definitely sounds like the person I need to talk to for where
Well,
we want to go.
if you want to make a good sounding room out of that room, yeah.
Yeah, awesome, definitely. Well, guys, we're at that time of the night. I got to do our little spills for everybody involved. For anybody that needs any of your podcast needs, make sure to get a hold of Wyatt here at Wave One Media. He will take care of you. He will shoot you and get it posted live all at the same time. He's a gangster of Wave One Media. No, but seriously, Wyatt is a great dude. He works really hard, and he will take care of any of your needs, video or podcast needs. Just get a hold of Wyatt here at Wave One Media.
Yep.
All the graphics, websites, the shirts, anything if you need motion graphics. And now, hey, you looking for your band that's touring? I am the dude at the Thompson House. We're Indy's newest music venue. So make sure to get a hold of me here at JK Multimedia Productions or at the Thompson House. And yeah.
Absolutely. I know.
As round as I am, you think there'd be more air in her than that.
Oh my God. You're not right.
Oh, you know.
You're not right. Ted, thank you so much for hanging
thank
out
you.
with us.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a good time. Seriously. So much information.
So much information. So if you would hang out for just a minute.
Sure.
All right, you guys, everyone. It's come to the end again. Stacy, I wanted to say hi. I love you.
Hi, Stacy. Tell all the girls I
Miss
said hello.
you.
The monkey's on vacation. He's in
Yes.
California starting a new music career. He's really trying. He's really trying, and be looking out for the corn-fed memoirs or something like that. Who knows?
Oh my God, that is hilarious. So everyone, be sure to tune in next Monday. We will be live 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Not 8 p.m.
8 p.m. So yeah, just keep in mind, all of you have hated a Monday once or twice in your lives.
So let Monday love you. See you guys.
See you guys.